Charlotte Hornets, Miami Heat. Game 7 from South Florida as we welcome you on a gorgeous day in Miami. 291st consecutive sellout at the American Airlines Arena as the first round of the 2016 NBA playoffs winds down. Cleveland and Atlanta in the Eastern Conference already in. They'll start on Monday night in Cleveland. And the winner of this series will play the winner of Toronto, Indiana. They're up in Canada tonight, a Game 7 in that series as well. And a good afternoon, everyone. Along with Mark Jackson and Jeff Van Gundy, Mike Breen on hand, Doris Burke with us as well. As this series has been fantastic to watch from a competitive standpoint. They've been even all season, and here they are in a Game 7. Our starting lineups.
Right now, no rebounds, no advances.
First standing ovation of the afternoon here in Miami.
Miami, where Charlotte finds a
timeout. Game 7, first quarter. So far, Miami with the first punch.
NBA playoffs on ABC. Brought to you by Land Rover, Above and Beyond, and Taco Bell's Beefy Crunch and Cheesy Double Beef Burritos.
Heat rolling early, and you say why? Well, crashing the offensive boards.
Almost went down and just rattles out. Ending a terrific first quarter for Goran Dragic and the Miami Heat. Dragic with 8 points and 2 assists, almost had the three-pointer from half court. 6 offensive rebounds, a key for Miami as they grab the early lead. Aerial coverage provided by Goodyear for game-changing performance in your lane. Choose Goodyear tires. Goodyear, more driven. Moments ago, Steve Clifford spoke for Doris.
Mike, thank you.
Yeah, we'll take a timeout. Leading scorer in the game is Goran Dragic. 11 points, 4 of 8 from the field, including a couple of three-pointers. Really stunning the dominance. As we look at the Western Conference playoffs again, coming up next on ABC, Golden State Game 1 hosting Portland, but San Antonio obliterating Oklahoma City. Now, I know we've got a million stats. We get stat crazy. But there was one stat from the game last night from OKC. You guys tell me if you think it has any value.
Oklahoma history of when he gets going, he creates all sorts of problems. So if you're Miami, you don't want that to take place. But the way to get it going is defensively. You get steals, you get early offense, you keep yourself in the game.
Series winning 2 apiece, and so far here in this playoff, 3 wins for each. As we're here at Game 7 from Miami, Florida, a chance to move on to the second round. For Charlotte, it would be the first time in 14 years. Boom hits the second. Tonight on ESPN, Sunday Night Baseball brings you one of the sport's greatest rivalries. Fenway Park has the Red Sox and the Yankees first pitch shortly after 8 Eastern tonight on ESPN. My buddy Dan Schulman. Right back.
Al Jefferson. Nice job finding Courtney Lee spotting up. Courtney Lee playing excellent basketball.
After Sunday Night Baseball on ESPN, don't miss Sports Center at night. John Butchergross and John Anderson of all the NBA and NHL playoff highlights. And a full wrap-up of the day in sports on Sports Center at night. Here on a beautiful day in Miami, Frank Kaminsky still feeling. Kemba Walker, brilliant the other night, but it's been a struggle here in the first half. It's the other point guard having a great first half.
Doesn't settle on a perimeter shot. Walker leaves his feet, turns the corner, gets to his spot, big time finish. Seen it a lot.
exist to assist. Brought to you by State Farm. It's Goran Dragic.
Making
Time. And just a little too strong. Dragic with 17 first half points, 6 rebounds, and 2 assists. Certainly his best moments of this first round series. Meanwhile, Hassan Whiteside with an impressive block. Dragic finished it off at the other end. 2 quarters complete in Game 7. Heat up a dozen. The halftime report coming up after these messages.
NBA playoffs on ABC. Brought to you by the all-new Audi A4.
It's a Game 7 from Miami and the right to advance to the second round of the 2016 NBA playoffs. We welcome you back to Miami, Florida. 12-point lead for the Heat. Our halftime stats are brought to you by Kia. And Miami with a 54-42 advantage. The rebounding was huge in that early going. And obviously the second chance points as Miami shot 48% from the field as they try and bounce back after trailing 3-2 in this series. Dragic controlling everything right now for Miami as Charlotte needs a timeout.
get whatever they want when they play pick and roll, putting Al Jefferson in the action. For Walker trailing so far behind Dragic, the perfectly timed lob pass to Whiteside.
Timeout, Charlotte. On a beautiful day in Miami here in Game 7. A beautiful performance from the Heat here in the third. They lead by 21. Meanwhile, second game of our doubleheader on ABC. Draymond Green and the Warriors, they'll host Portland. Mike Tirico, Hubie, Elisa Salters. Lisa reporting at halftime. Steph Curry's going to be out the first 2 games, but they will not rule him out yet for Game 3. Meanwhile, the point guard position has been critical in this matchup as Goran Dragic has dominated. 23 points for Goran Dragic. Right now, the Heat annihilating the Hornets, the third quarter of Game 7. Coming national TV schedule, Portland and Golden State, Game 1 in the Western Conference semifinals on ABC with Mike, Hubie, and Lisa. 3:30 Eastern Time. And then a Game 7 tonight. Here's the fan of the day, Indiana and Toronto, for the right to play the winner of this series, which right now is looking like the Miami Heat, the way they have stormed out of the gate here in the second half. A 20-4 start, and now lead 74-46.
And it shows you.
A 29-11 third quarter. Miami by 30 as this presentation of the NBA playoffs continues after this message and a word from our ABC stations. Aerial coverage provided by Goodyear for game-changing performance in your lane. Choose Goodyear tires. Goodyear, more driven. Fourth quarter of Game 7 set to begin. And we did not expect this. A 30-point lead for the Miami Heat. And some of them in their first Game 7s, Dragic, Dang, and Whiteside all having a huge impact. Dragic has really led the charge. But Roberts fouled him. We'll take a timeout. All Miami Heat here on the home floor in Game 7 today. All right, Sage, tremendous performance from the Portland Trailblazers. Again, they lose 4 starters, yet they advance farther in the NBA playoffs.
See, make some shots and get it going a little bit.
Rick Roberts tied up. And we're going to have a reach-in foul on Courtney Lee. We'll take a break. Midway through the fourth quarter, Game 7. It's been all Heat here in Miami as they get ready to advance to the second round.
NBA playoffs on ABC. Brought to you by Honda. Start something special with a great deal on a Honda. Now at your Honda dealer.
I've managed my game. I've changed my game.
As we wind down Game 7. Second game of our doubleheader today on ABC coming up from Oakland. Klay Thompson and the Golden State Warriors without Steph Curry once again hosting Portland. Game 1 of the conference semifinals starting later on ABC. And Steve Clifford did such a fabulous job and did it without one of his key players, Michael Kidd-Gilchrist, out for most of the season, played only 7 games. But the front office with a lot of decisions in the offseason, Jeff.
No question. They have to look who they want to prioritize, who do they definitely want to have back, because all of those guys, maybe not Jefferson, but everybody else I think is going to get a pay increase over where they were this year with the new money that's involved and all the teams who have cap space. I think Batuma's going to get a near maximum deal. I think Jeremy Lin
up in Game 6. And Dragic here in Game 7. He'll be back here in Miami as the Heat advance to the second round right after this timeout.
Forward to the next round. Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Stay tuned. Game 1 of the Trailblazers and the Warriors coming up. Mike Tirico, Hubie Brown, Lisa Salters will have that for you in that conference semifinal. So for Jeff Van Gundy, Mark Jackson, Doris Burke, our producer Kenny Wolf, our director Jimmy Moore, and our entire outstanding ABC crew, Mike Breen saying thanks so much for watching as the Heat advance to the second round here on ABC, home of the NBA Finals. And we'll join Sage, Doug, and Jalen coming up after these messages.